Shalawam. This is Adasabat Saiwan returning with part 3 of Thinking Out Loud. And this part 3 is called A Mighty Storm is Brewing. Now, if I sound nasally, there's nothing wrong with your ears. I am nasally. I'm fighting some allergies. Yes. And it is what it is. I still decided to do this study and because it has been on my heart for a very long time now, for quite a few weeks, to get something like this out. But I have been busy working on the Revelation series. It's completed now. I finished part 2 already, and the final recording, part 3, I will do that soon. But I have not released those two as yet. Well, have not released part 2 as yet. So what I'm going to do, this one is quite an independent study. It's not really a study, I should say. It's more like, thinking out loud, literally. Because I don't know if you are sensing this, but I have been feeling since late last year, I've been feeling that there's something on the horizon and there's something brewing, both bad and good, both evil and good. All right? So I just pulled up a few images here, and not to bring any fear to the hearts of anyone, because fear comes when there's an absence of faith. So if there's fear, then you need to address that fear and be realistic, be truthful, right? It makes no sense denying, oh, I'm not afraid, but yet deep down inside you're afraid. You have to ask yourself a question. Why? Why do I feel afraid? There's no shame in asking that question, because now you have the chance to make a change. And this is what it's all about. The devil brings shame and embarrassment and pride to stop us from making the change, the correction. All right? So let's get back to this storm that is brewing. There, there are clouds swirling overhead, gathering. We're going to get into it by slide number 5. I have about 8 points to make. But right now, I'm doing a summary before I get into the actual message. So there are clouds swirling all around us, dark, menacing clouds. All right. Not only are there menacing above, but they are a threat to the earth below, a threat to our life, a threat to our livelihood, a threat to our homes, our families, a threat, a complete threat. All right? And these clouds are creations of the enemy. And yes, Allahayam Yahweh has allowed them to do their deeds, do their dirty deeds. Why? Because Allah is going to use them and their agendas to sift the people on this earth. But if you notice, we had just gone through some serious times on this earth. It started about 2020, if you know what I'm talking about. And for a few years, people have gone through some serious transitions in their lives. Some people couldn't make it. Some people couldn't handle it. All right? Why? Because they're not spiritually grounded. If you're spiritually grounded, whatever the devil throw at you, yes, you may bend, but you're not going to break. But there are a lot of people breaking, serious breakage. There are people offing themselves. Why? Because they lost their homes, they lost their livelihoods, they lost their businesses. Because they think that's what life is all about. And so now, today, we are feeling a reprieve. There's a sense of reprieve, a sense of, okay, they have kind of backed off. But don't think that it's not going to come back. And don't think that nothing isn't happening. Something is happening. Like I said, there are dark clouds swirling overhead. You may not be able to see them, but they're there. And when I explain to you what these clouds are, then you will say, yes, no, I understand. We're talking spiritually here. Obviously, when you see dark clouds, you know a storm is coming. So if I'm telling you that dark clouds are swarming or spiraling above, then you must know a storm is coming. All right. And these dark clouds that are coming, they're coming for destruction. But here's the thing. Why hasn't this storm manifested itself as yet? Why? It manifested itself in 2020 up to 2022, 2023. Then we start to see a little bit of a reprieve and pulling back. And why? Yet every now and then you hear little pockets of this rioting and what have you. But generally, there's a sense of ease. Why? Well, let me just tell you. The first pressure and the oppression that was placed upon this earth that came in 2020 was done to make a people aware of what is happening, to make them aware that any time these devils can take what you have away from you. Anytime they want, they can restrict you. They can prevent you. They can control you. Anytime that they choose. No, don't get me wrong. Of course, they have to do it with the with the Father's permission, with Abba's permission. But I'm just giving you some straight facts because we know that the world was placed on the prison. The world became a prison in 2020. So anyone that has gone through that, lived through that, and still want to carry on living in this world, you're not looking for a better place, then whatever comes next, you will deserve. And I'm speaking primarily to our people, Yashraal, Southern Kingdom. If you, after going through what you have been through, and you're not making plans and preparation to live somewhere else, and when I say somewhere else, because there's nowhere else on this earth to live, obviously, to be regathered by Alahayam, Hamashiach. If you're not getting yourself together, getting your house in order, because 2020 was a warning. It was a warning. We were supposed to wake up and realize, oh my goodness, I thought I had a job. I thought I had security in my job. And then you realize, your boss says you can't come to work unless you take the jibby jab jab. Just keep on walking. Don't come in here without it. And proof too. There goes your security. If that does not wake our people up, if that did not wake our people up, what will? It means that you are so in love with the world that it doesn't matter. You will just pretend. It will all eventually go away and we can all still live happily ever after. Fairy tales. I'll just hang in there until. And, if they say I have to do X, Y, and Z, well, the Most High knows that I need a job and I need this and I need that. He's not going to deny me after all. I'm part of his tribe. But this is the path. And you see, look at this image here. It's a road. All right? And above it are dark looming clouds. Because we are on a path. And this path, the devils are threatened by the fact that we are on this path. Especially if we're on the right path. So if you find yourself on the right path, guess what's going to happen? Trouble galore is coming. Because the devils, they don't want us on the right path. It's okay for you to be on the broad way, because that is the way that leads to destruction. So the storms are the winds, the clouds, the thundering and the lightnings. They're all brewing and they're all converging together to create the perfect storm that will affect every single life on this earth. But the Most High, what He has done since 2023 is to prevent these devils from exploding their agenda on this earth again. He is restricting them because He has bound them. And the reason why is because the Most High will get His people out of the way first. He is getting ready to regather the southern kingdom. And this is the reason why the date today is February 23rd, 2024. And as much as these devils are planning and plotting, they cannot carry on as they did like 2020. What they did in 2020, March of 2020, they want to do it again, but they cannot. Not just yet. Allah has restricted them. So what they've been doing in the meantime is brewing their perfect storm. So they have little pockets of chaos, confusion, and rioting happening all around the world. Not to mention the disasters all around the world. All around the world. On a small scale. Because part of their agenda, part of their fear tactic that they employ is to project all their miseries, all the miseries that is happening around the world. And if you notice, they have their media and social media on board because it's owned by them. And what they do is when they project chaos and confusion, then it brings fear and terror. And those are tools that they use to oppress and control people. Weak-minded people, people that are spiritually weak, if they're spiritual at all. And this is what they do. So even though they are restricted from the grand finale that they will love to play out right now, the Most High has not restricted them from doing their little deeds all around the world. They're traveling around in their little groups and they're having their little meetings here and there, and they're letting you know this is what we're planning and this and that and all these different things. But they can't do anything just yet. Why? Because Abba needs to get his people out of the way first. And he said, you don't touch this world like you did in 2020 until I get my people out. And that's the reason why the brewing is happening, because Abba is going to remove his people from off this earth, speaking of the southern kingdom. And once that happens, then watch out. The judgments will continue on. We are still at judgment number, actually it's called seal number 4. We're still there. Seal number 5, if you've studied the Revelation lessons that I've put out there, will clearly help you to understand where we are today. And 5 has to do with the northern kingdom when they are going to be martyred. Okay? Okay, so let's look at this storm that is brewing, all these clouds that are out there. All right, let's start with the most obvious one. The increase of technology exponentially. If you ever have you noticed how great an increase of technology that we have today? I remember growing up, all right? I grew up in the Caribbean. And most people had a radio. And there was only one radio station. Hardly anyone had a telephone. And hardly anyone had a television. Right? We got our news from the radio. It was on morning to evening until it went off. Then I remember my grandma, she got a television. And she was the first person in our neighborhood to have gotten a television. And you see the boys in the hood, right? Because we all knew one another. And we grew up in a time when our doors were open. Nobody would come in to steal or to hijack you or anything. No. People pass by and sit on your stoop and we have conversations. That was our social media. That's how we found out things that happen in the neighborhood. Communication with one another face to face. But yes, that was the extent of our technology, a radio. And then she got the television. It was black and white. And then finally she got a telephone. That was the extent of our technology back in those days. And that wasn't that long ago. And now look at technology today. When you can read about men and women marrying robots, AI, or date an image. I saw this clip of people now. They can they're looking for relationships with this AI. That it is not real. It is an image. All right. They even go as far now as you can recreate a loved one that has passed on. And AI can make them be real to you again. So you don't have to suffer the loss of your loved ones, your loved one. You don't have to suffer the loss. Forget about grieving. Forget about the fact that grieving is part of the healing process to help you to move on to the next stage, the next chapter in your life. Oh, no, no, no. We want to keep reliving that hurt. Every time you look at the face, you got to know that that's not real. How's that helping you to heal? How's that helping you to move on? So now you become a basket case. Just like that person that wouldn't bury the dead mama, but got them in a bed stuffed till they become like a mummy. All the skin all dried and hard and everything like leather. But they still sit next to the bed and say, "Hi, mama, I had a good day at home, mama. How have you been, mama?" Those kind of crazies. That's what they're doing with people today. Turning them into crazy people. I lost my mom. You think I want to see an AI that looks like her? It's not her. It is not her. I would never disrespect my mother by doing something like that. In fact, I shouldn't say disrespect my mother. I would never disrespect the memory of my mama by doing something like that. How about those things that they put on the face now? People walking around and they're tapping their fingers in midair and they're looking like they're crazy. Why? Because they're wearing these visors and they're in a virtual reality. Forget about the reality that you're already in. No, no, no. I don't want that. I want my own reality. And they're walking the streets with this thing on their face and they're doing some really odd, crazy things with their hands and even with their bodies. All right? And the people that are buying it hook, line, and sinker are this generation that has been raised with technology. I had a thought here the other day. I had a nice conversation with the Heavenly Father. Not going to get in too deep into what we were conversing about, but I'll tell you what the outcome of the conversation is, or was rather. Do you know the reason why the Most High brought the children of Yashraal out of Goshen? He could have wiped out the Matzarayam right there and let them stay in the land, right? But no, he brought them out, brought them into the wilderness, caused them to go through some difficulties. Why? Because he wanted to test what was in their hearts. And most importantly, not that he did not know what was in their hearts, but he wanted them to recognize what was in their hearts. He wanted them to see that what was in their hearts was the luxuries that they enjoyed while in Goshen, even though they were being persecuted. One of the things that the Father showed me, because I just finished this Revelation series. And one of the things that he revealed to me is that many people, many of our people, will not, would not love living in his presence. They would not enjoy living in his presence. They would not enjoy living in on the new earth, the new heavens, or the new Yerushalayim. They wouldn't enjoy any of the creation of the Most High. Why? Because they love this world and the things in this world. Speaking of technology, you have electricity. From the time they created electricity, now it means that you don't need to go to sleep at night. You can stay up. And then it just kept growing from there. All right? It just kept increasing to the point now where they're creating AI to prepare your meals for you. I saw this smart house, that's what they call it, but to me it was a dummy house. But it was a smart house that you can just walk in, tell the stove what you want, and these arms will come. I don't know. It's a whole bunch of crazy things, all right? But basically, the simple tasks that we once enjoyed doing, like cooking our own meals, shopping, and all these different things, we no longer need to do all that stuff because we can have this perfect house that can do all that stuff for us. Right? Look at what they're doing now, even in the restaurants. Aren't they replacing people with AI and robots? Yes, they are. Well, robots are AI, but you know what I mean. The artificial intelligence. Just like it says, it's artificial. Anyways, um, so all these things. So what he explained to me, he said many of the southern kingdom. That's this is the only reason why many of our people aren't going to make it, because they would not want to live a simple life. They would not want to live in a world without technology. In other words, the world that the Most High created, where Adam and Hawa live, the garden, would be too boring to our people today, to many of our people today. Too boring. Why? Because there's no technology. They love technology. I had a conversation one time and we got into a little bit of a heated discussion about it, because in his opinion, we need technology no matter what. I said, what planet are you from? I should say that, but because there's no such thing, right? I said, "Look, what is wrong with us that we think we our brains have been so programmed into thinking that we are dependent on technology, and without technology, life cannot go on. That's a life from the pit of hell. Technology wasn't always here. It was brought here by the fallen angels. And the Most High destroyed it with the flood. And next he's going to destroy it with fire. All right? He's going to send a great earthquake in seal number 6, and he's going to destroy all of technology. The earth is going to go back to the way it was before. Without technology, technology is going to be rendered useless, because the devil, the main Satan that loves technology, he's going to be put down for a while. That's Gadriel. He's going to be locked down for a while until he's cast into the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. Because he's going to be the one that's going to be running the NWO Beast Empire number 7. And once that technology based empire is destroyed, he is on the bench. Can't say anything or do anything because his beautiful technology is gone forever. All these things are brewing. This is happening right now. Talking about AI is becoming so self-aware and all these different things, and it's growing emotions, all kinds of nonsense. There's no such thing. These robots and AI and whatnot, they're all possessed by demons. Why? What? You want to tell me that the devil and his people can create human, like artificial intelligence, and it can grow common sense? No, sir. Not saying that the devil's got common sense, because they ain't got any, but what they're trying to say is that they have emotions like people. No such thing. If it's showing any kind of human like qualities, it's because it is possessed by the devils, by unclean spirits. And they're just faking it to make you believe that AI can become human like. It's all fake. It's all a pretense. They can't create anything. They can imitate, they can fake it, they can do all of that, but they can't create. All this we're having to deal with. Imagine if you had a child growing up in this time, unless you're homeschooling your child. That child is going to be doomed for destruction. I saw a title. I didn't watch the video because my Shabbat started. Maybe I'll get around to watching it. But there was this, I saw this title, and it was talking about parents are no longer parents over their children in Canada. Is that a surprise? That's not a surprise. This has been going on now for quite some time. Even before 2020. All right? Even before 2020. Suddenly, teachers get so involved in the child's life and making decisions, helping the child make wrong decisions, which we will come to some later down in this particular message. I'll come back to this. So a child decides that they want to terminate a life within them, talking about a girl child. I heard this even before 2020. This was starting to happen back I would say like almost like 10 years ago. 8, 9, 10 years ago. Because that's those kinds of things were part of my not studies, but things that I used to pay attention to. Right? Suddenly now, what was happening in America, I don't hear anyone talking about it anymore, but these clinics started popping up around the high schools in America. So that children, underage children, can go to these clinics and have that little life inside of them terminated without their parents' consent. They could tell the teacher will take them over, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So I saw that writing on the wall a long time ago, that this was coming, where children will no longer be governed by their parents, but by the state, because that's what the school system is. It's the state. So I wasn't surprised. I was not surprised. Okay, let's move on to number 2. The increase of narcissism. I've never seen how narcissistic this generation is unbelievable. And you know what helps them to be so narcissistic? Social media. I'm guilty of this. Don't get me wrong. I'm guilty of this. I like to watch those shorts. You know, some of them are like TikTok shorts, but they're YouTube shorts. But some of them were taken from TikTok of people. I like the ones where people are doing like extraordinary things, like how they can um, cut a piece of fruit and make it into a flower, or do something extraordinary like a skill, you know, carpenter. I like to watch the glass blowers, all kinds of stuff I like to watch, right? Because it's like 20 seconds long, half a minute, something like that. But what has been increasing and I started seeing this a few years ago, are all the stupid falls. When I say falls, I mean people fall on their face or do something really stupid and they jump up like, did you catch that on camera? Did you catch that on camera? Right? And you see it both with males and females. And it's a particular generation. All right? Well, this generation, they're obsessed with capturing themselves on camera. It doesn't matter what they're doing as long as they're captured on camera. It doesn't, you see, when I was growing up, right, and you trip and fell, you looked around and hope that nobody saw you, right? Because the first thing people are going to do is start laughing at you, right? It's especially if you didn't hurt yourself, you just tripped. But these people today, it's almost like it's planned because someone's there with a camera watching. All right? Like, like seriously, narcissistic. It doesn't matter if it makes you look bad. As long as people get a good laugh and we get um, um, views and so that I can get money. That's all it's about. It's about me making money. And not only about making money now, it is about me promoting myself no matter what, no matter how stupid I may look, how foolish, how incredibly foolish I may look. One of them that I saw, oh my goodness. I had spoken about it in a previous study and I decided to take it out. But it was this young girl, and she's in her 20s, who went to Paris for 10 days. And she's recording herself, you know. She's recording herself. She's all proud. Not a bad looking girl either. But she's recording herself. Oh, today is whatever the date was, and this is 1 o'clock in the morning, and I just finished with the man number 22. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit another one in because I'm getting ready to head out to the airport. And unless we do it in the airport or on the airplane, then 22 is the maximum now. So just to let everyone know, 22 in 10 days, that's not bad. And she's proud. She's proud. She's proud of the fact that she slept with 22 men in 10 days. And she's hoping maybe she can squeeze in one more. Narcissistic. They have no sense of self, no sense of I hate to use this word, but pride. Because there's pride and then there's pride. No sense of anything except me. It's all about me. I can't imagine that she had parents. I can't imagine. She had to be a clone person. She had to come from a baby farm. She can't have parents. She can't have family members. No way. Unless her family is just like her. Who knows? Unbelievable. Back in our days, We had a name for people like her. They're called prostitutes, even though she wasn't making any money from it. But then again, if she's doing it on TikTok, if she's putting it out there on TikTok, that's where she's getting the money from. So in a way, yeah, she's still kind of a prostitute. She's prostituting herself. But then there's another word, it's called a whore. Can you imagine? Unbelievable. That's what we used to call them back in the day. A big old whore. And that word is in the Bible, by the way. You're a harlot. So now, another thing about narcissists, they put everything out there for the world to see because it's about me. It doesn't matter if it's bad. It doesn't matter if it's nasty. As long as it's about me and it's putting me in the limelight, I'm good. I'm happy with it. Such ego. Where did that come from? Certainly not coming from the Most High. Come from the devil himself. Which brings us down to point number 3, the increase of stupidity. I've never seen people so stupid in all my life. I saw a video. I didn't even know what to do, if to laugh or what. So this woman, again, this is narcissistic as well as stupid, because they're both, you have to be stupid in order to, well, when I explain the story, then you'll know what I'm talking about. This woman, she's recording herself. I just want you to know that I had the biggest shock of my life. Well, I'm not giving you verbatim. But the whole idea was that her friend asked her a question. Why are you buying lemons from the supermarket? She said, what do you mean? I need lemons because I put lemons in everything, what I drink and what I eat. I need lemons. She said, but why are you buying lemons when you have a lemon tree in your backyard? She said, what does that have to do with anything? I buy lemons because I need them to use them. And her friends say, are you listening to me? You have a lemon tree with lemons growing on it. Why are you going to buy lemons? And once again, she said, because I need them to put in my food. And her friend, like, wanted to shake her, I could imagine. She said, you have lemons on the tree. You don't need to buy lemons. You can just go out there and pick them. She said, really? I thought you need to do something to them before you can use them. Well, that was the ending of the video, right? Because I guess the guy who was commentating couldn't take anymore. She thought when you need lemons from a lemon tree, it has to go through a process before you can use them. That is stupidity. And we're not talking about a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old, a teenager. We're talking about a woman that is possibly in her mid to late 20s. Where have you been living? Like, obviously you have trees around you. Stupidity. The increase of stupidity. All right? Another thing that I noticed, I've watched a couple videos, but I don't think I can watch anymore, where you have these young people wondering, why do I need to work? When I was growing up, it was basic knowledge that you go to school, you go to college or university, Then you try to get yourself a nice job, a career that you love, and you work. That was ingrained in us because we saw our parents doing it. And it became like the norm. But you got these young people today, right? Because they can go and put videos out on TikTok and make money from there, or YouTube shorts or what have you, YouTube videos. And that's their idea of living, right? Heaven forbid if something happens and they're not making as much money because the videos, what have you, the algorithm closed them. I don't know, something happened. And then they're told, you need to go to work. You need to go find a job. And they're asking this stupid question, why do I need to go find a job? Why? Why do I need to work? Work is boring. I don't want to work. Stupidity. Who raised these people? Who raised them up? Who, who raised them to think this way? That they are dissatisfied with the norm. This was part of our culture from even way back. If we weren't working for the man, we were working on the farm or the plantation. It was our people. We worked. Work is part of living. If you don't work, you don't eat. Literally. All right? But these people, they just want to sit in a car and do a TikTok video, cross their fingers and their toes that it becomes a hit, and then they make money. That's what they want to do. They don't want to do anything else. That's why they go around, they film themselves doing crazy, stupid things. Like I said, the increase of stupidity. Let's look at number 4, the increase of satanic worship. We're seeing this more and more every day. Now you have the after school Satan club that you can leave your children there and they will entertain them. Well, good luck to you, to whomever that allow their children to be a part of this club, because they're going to steal your children's souls. No joke. That's what they're after. The souls of your children. You notice how everything now is geared towards children? Everything now is geared towards them. You have now the increase of satanic worshippers coming out in the sunshine, in the daytime. They used to come out only late at night on the beaches where there are no other eyes to observe what they're doing. Now they're out playing. I remember 2020 when they had all these people marching. Actually, no, was it 2020? No, it's 2019. It was that, I call it the BLM march. Remember that? Remember when they had that guy that was pinned down and they claimed he was choked to death by the knee of this police officer? That time, around that time. So you had the Satanists, the witches, the warlocks, and what have you marching. on behalf of this person, I guess. But it wasn't on behalf of this person. They were just marching because they were bringing out their wares, right? They were bringing out their wares. They're showing themselves. Suddenly now, they've become political and they care about human life. No, they don't. They don't care about human life. They take human life. That's what they do. They sacrifice human life to their devils. You start to see all these things happening. Now they're marching the streets with all these other groups and being a part of the groups and what have you. It's increased. Another thing that you see increasing is all the wickedness going on in the church. Listen, I just saw something. I didn't watch it though. I couldn't bear to watch it. But I saw the title of because these things come up in my feed on YouTube. This woman pastor, kicks the Bible because she's dressed like a footballer, right? She was wearing football gear and, like the football jersey. She was wearing that pair of jeans and so on. Holds the Bible on the ground like they hold the football. But that was as much as I wanted to see. And there was a pastor that commented about it. I didn't listen to him either. To me, it was a waste of time because I said, you know what? Edom knows that they are on their way out. And Edom, by the way, is made up of many different colors. But this particular person, these particular Edomites, right? They know that they're on their way out, right? We are seeing a rise of wickedness, and it's all part of their satanic worship. And I've said this before, and I did a study on Christianity. I told you Christianity is Roman religion. All right, it was planted by the Romans. And if you look at Christianity, you see that it's made up of all other religions. It's made up of Babylonian religion, Egypt religion of Egypt before Islam, okay, came in. Egyptology, because you see the cross is a modified ankh. I did a study on that. In fact, there were two studies that I did on it, and I showed you images too to prove to you what I'm saying. So I was not surprised to see a Christian pastor woman kicking the Bible. They're going to do a lot more to that Bible. Why? Because the God that they worship is not the God that we worship. Because we don't even worship God. We worship Allah Hayam. They worship gods. They worship the fallen. And the names written in the Bible are their gods that they worship. But Satan already knew that the Bible belonged to the 12 tribes of Yashraal. So what he has done, he has contaminated it. He has changed the names, put his names in. And so even though his names are written in the Bible, he still disrespects the fact that the prophecies in the Bible are about the one true living Allah Hayam and his people. So this is his way of showing his disrespect to him and them, to us. All right? this is no surprise that that has happened. I'm going to tack on this as well because I didn't put this in. I should have put it in. But there is a rise of um, racism as well, especially towards us, where I'm seeing a rise of racism like never before. And there's certain YouTubers that I just can't watch anymore. There was this one on BitChute that I used to watch because of 2020, what was happening with, you know what, the jibby jab and whatnot, right? I used to watch this particular person on BitChute, but I realized more and more over and over that this person is a bona fide racist, bona fide through and through. This blue eye balding person is a racist. Put a white cone on top of its head, it would fit perfectly. A white cone hat. I stopped listening to this person, right? It would find videos of Negroes, and I'm not in agreement with what they were doing, but it would make a lot of racist remarks. All right? When his own people are out there doing worse. Okay. So there are a lot of people there. I stopped watching his videos. I said, look, there are more people that put information. I don't need to listen to this. I don't need to watch him. There are other people out there. But I'm seeing it now on YouTube. A rise of racism against our people. All right? And then you should see the remarks, the comments in the comment section. I don't even bother going there. In fact, anytime I see a particular person pointing, you see, when, let's take, for example, this same girl that slept with 22 men in 10 days. People aren't going to say anything about her color and call her white trash. They're not going to say that. But you have a Negro woman do something stupid. The first thing they want to say is they want to call us monkeys and this and that. Very, what's the word? They find the worst names ever to describe our people. Yes, you can comment about the stupid thing that they've done, but why do you have to sink so low to um well basically curse the person? Why do you have to sink low, sink to that level to attack the color of that person's skin and comparing them to animals when you got your own kind out there doing worse than what this person has done? And you wouldn't call them white trash, would you? No. You will just be offended by their action, but forget about the skin color. No, that's irrelevant. But as soon as a Negro person does something, all of a sudden now they're monkeys, they're this, they're that, they're the N word. right? Talking about, oh, that's why they're always on welfare and this and that. Who made us this way? Who made us this way? Think about it. We were living peacefully in Africa. Africa is not our land, by the way. But we're living peacefully over there. Who brought us out and brought us into these lands and treated us this way? I can get into that discussion, but I will not. All right. So if you want to say A, you got to say B. All right. All right. So let's go to 5. An increase of mental disorders. All kind of crazies out there. Like I said to you, you see them walking around with the visors on their face, that Apple thing that they wear now to be living in a virtual reality, dating AIs and having robots. Some people make their own stuffed dolls, giant sized stuffed dolls, and call them their husband. There's one woman, she had a stuffed doll husband, and then she turned out she got 3 children for him. They're 3 dolls that she made. One is a twin and the other one is a single. So she now has 3 dolls that she called her 3 children that she got from her stuffed doll husband. And when you look at them, they're like seriously, you cannot be sane. All right? And she's not the only one. There was this young man, spent $30,000, or is it pounds? I can't remember if he was in the UK or the US. I think he was in the UK. He spent £30,000. Let's assume that's the correct denomination on making a realistic dog costume that he would put on and walk around in. Like, like seriously? Honestly, who would think of doing something like that? Someone who has a mental disorder. All right? It's a mental disorder. You want to get married, but you want to marry a doll and have children by that doll, and you make your own children. That's a mental disorder. You have this child come to school and tell the teacher, I identify as a dog. So, well, actually, let me go back to the original animal, a cat. So I need a kitty litter to do my business in. That's a mental disorder. And you know where these mental disorders come from? Spirits, unclean spirits. They're possessing people left, right, and center. And that's why people are doing the things they're doing. And they don't feel ashamed or embarrassed. They just feel proud of it because they document themselves and put themselves out there on YouTube and TikTok and what have you. They don't care. They have no sense of self anymore. Again, back to narcissism. But there's an increase of mental disorders. How about your gender? Your gender. Now there's confusion about genders. Even though you're born one way, you don't feel that way, so you must be the other way. So let me go fix myself and make sure that I am the other way. And once you do that, especially if you're very young, that's it. You now become an it. You're neither here nor there. That's a mental disorder. And And who is pushing this mental disorder is the next number 6. The people in the alphabet group, the rainbow people. You got them in schools teaching your children, and they're the ones that are pushing this dysphoria. All right? They're the ones who's pushing it because they're following their own father, the devil, to do this thing. A lot of them are trapped out of ignorance, but the most of these people are in satanic worship. They're all part of these secret clubs. And what the secret clubs are doing now, they're telling their members, because their members now are part of all these different kinds of occupations that are out there, especially in the school system. Now we need to launch the attack on the little ones. Now we're going to confuse them from very young. So confused that by the time they realize who they really are, it's too late. Because the whole idea is they want to stop people from procreating. If you notice, this is what all of this is leading to. Men being men, women being women, getting together, getting married, and having children. That's what they want to stop. So the increase of technology, you have the AI husbands. Oh, that will fix that problem real fast. Get people to be narcissistic. Pay them for all their stupid videos, YouTube and TikTok. Pay them. Blast the platform with all their stupid videos so that they would think people love them. Listen, I watched a video one time of this young man. He was in his 18, 19, something like that. I can't even remember if he was in the military as well. But he was into this TikTok business. All right? He was into TikTok. And he happened to be living next door. Anyways, long story short, he had issues with the people next door, and he thought that it would be a great idea to turn it into a TikTok video if he goes over there to kill them all. And that's what he did. He went over there and killed a whole family. All right? Narcissistic to the point where you're beyond stupid. But, anyways, going back to mental disorder and changing people's genders, all to do with they want to break down the family unit. Get people narcissistic enough. I'm too in love with myself. Listen, there are people that marry themselves, for crying out loud. They married themselves. Well, there's one girl, she married herself and then she divorced herself the year after. All right? When you become so stupid, you don't even know what's what, what's up and what's down. All this is pointing to the breakdown of the family structure. Satanic worship as well. All that is part of it. And so we're going to look again at verse 6. Increase in the alphabet peoples. This is the rainbow people's agendas. No, these people are being celebrated. They're now the cream of the crop. You got the ones dressed up in whatever costumes, demonic looking costumes, and reading stories to children. All their privates exposed. And we have parents and child care providers sitting there with children observing that. But you know what came to my mind when I saw that? Even a picture of it? That all those people that are doing that, all those people with children that are sitting before this demon reading a story to children, they got to be part of the same club. Because a normal human being, all right, would not want to sit before a demon to hear a story and for themselves, furthermore, place their child in front of a person that dressed up like a devil and exposing their privates. These people, they have their communities, and within their communities, they have children. So don't think that they might make you think that normal people are enjoying this when in fact it's their own people. All right? Although I would not put it past some or a handful of foolish people that would say, okay, well, it is what it is. We got to roll with the times. There's some people that will say that. All these different agendas. Teaching children in schools about two dads and two moms. Getting children from the time they're little familiar or not familiar, sorry, desensitized. All right. I watched this YouTube. I don't know if it was gotta be a short because I don't watch these things for too long. And it got to be from somebody else's video because I don't purpose myself to watch anything that these people have to say. But this was a person that had changed their gender from female to male, but decided that they have no gender. And this person, this creature, was a teacher or is a teacher, teaching little kids. And seeing, like this person I was giving this TikTok, oh, I was so touched that my children, I had one child in my class that called me a she, and another child came and told him, no, 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 teacher is not a she, teacher has no gender. Oh, that touched my heart. Oh, I just want to cry. I'm like, oh my goodness. See how they're programming the children in school? Serious programming. All right? And you want to know why children today become so hard to handle, hard to manage. They become this way because of the devils that you let them teach them. I know that some parents can't handle being parents because they don't know how to parent their own children. Right? So they are grateful that their children can go off to school. Some parents are just grateful and happy to be able to ship off their children to school from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. if that works for, all schools. Worked for mine. But they're happy because now they don't have to deal with their children. They have time on their hands. They can do whatever they wanted to do. All right? They don't have to parent because parenting for many people this in this generation is very difficult. I've seen it. I've witnessed it with my own two eyes and ears. They don't know how to parent their own children. So they look forward to Monday, from Monday to Friday, to ship those children off to school. They don't even mind having to spend extra bucks to send them to an expensive school if they have to say, well, I'm being a good parent because I'm sending them to a very good private school. As long as I get them out of here, I want them out of here because I don't know how to take care of them. Another um, kind of parent is that they hire nannies to take care of their children because they don't know how to take care of their own. They have one child, they can't take care of their own child. They have two. It's even worse for them. Then they go and get three. I remember one time I was helping this person with this brand new baby. They had a child already and they had a brand new baby. Husband and wife, both of them. I walked in and they were only too happy to see me. They put this brand new baby, this baby was probably about a few days old, in my arms. All right. And both of them had a sigh of relief because they just didn't know what to do with this brand new baby. This is their second child, And the baby was just crying all the time. And from the time that baby was in my arms, that baby fell asleep instantly. Why? Because the two of them were so tense that the baby can feel it. But here I come. Plus the fact that I'm spiritually grounded, right? I'm spiritually led. So for the time that child comes to me, that child feels a difference in its environment because now there's an environment around me and in me. So my body is nice and relaxed. So the baby now can relax and sleep. That's what all babies want to do is sleep. Eat and sleep. Well, eat, sleep, and you know what? Number one, number two. And then back to sleeping again. And for the time the baby fell asleep, I was able to put it in his crib. And I was like, that's it. And they're like, how did you do that? Do what? And then, being that I had nothing really to do but just, spend time with this baby, they were still there trying to catch up on their duties. And I noticed that there were certain signs to show me the mental state of these two people. They had no clue, even though they already had a child. And this child that they had was about 3 years old. But somehow, I don't know, did they forget? I don't know. Maybe they went through the same thing with this first child. I would believe so. And they wanted me to come back because they don't know what to do with this baby. And I am scratching my head, but you already had a baby before. You had a daughter. All right. So you have parents that can't, they want to have children, but they don't want to parent the children. They want to get them to a certain age where they can get to school. Once they go to school, then the next thing to do is ship them out to college or a boarding school or what have you. Because they want to say to their friends, I have two children, I have three kids. They're doing this, they're in sports, they're this and this and that and that. Because having children now is like wearing stripes on their arms. They don't really care about parenting. They just want to brag about what they have. Goes back to number two, narcissistic. It's about them, what they have. All right? And so they allow their children to be schooled by these rainbow people. And when they do that, now they have a big problem on their hands. The child comes home, Mommy, Daddy, I don't want to be a girl anymore. I don't want to be a boy anymore. In fact, they don't even have to say anything to the parents these days. They just go to their nice neutral teacher. And when I say neutral, they're neutral because they're neutered. All right? And tell them, I don't want to be a girl. And the teacher will be only too happy to comply. Well, let me tell you what to do. Tomorrow, I'm going to take you to a special doctor. And that doctor is going to help you with your plan, with what you want. Will that make you happy? Yes, it will make me very happy, teacher. Yay! I get to be a boy tomorrow. And then they start giving them the blockers. And the parents don't even know. All these crazy things. And once that happens, a lot of these young people that have taken the blockers, they're neutered. They're chemically neutered forever. And this is all part of the plan. This is the plot. Because they want to not popularize, depopulate. Oh my goodness, that word will not come out. They want to depopulate the world, the earth. Like I said, all these little agendas, all these different plots and plans that they have put together, that they have going on right now, rolling out. But it has a very significant um, a very significant plan. Like when it evolves, then you're going to see the deeper significance of it all. But at the same time, Allah Hayam will always keep a remnant, even of the Gentiles, that will not go this way, because they're going to repopulate again. You think these devils can touch every single person on this earth? No way. The Father would not have it. They don't have the ultimate control or power. Allah Hayam does. He said you can go so far and no farther. He's going to eventually take them down. And yes, a lot of the Gentiles are experiencing this craziness. because most of them love sending their children to these public schools. They want to have children, and so they send them to public schools because it's cheap to send them to public schools. All right, let's move on to number 7. Increasing wars and rumors of wars. That's what Hamashiach said is going to happen in the last days before he comes to regather his people. And a lot of these are just rumors. These wars that you're hearing, rumors. And that's what he promised. That's what he said. He said, just don't be afraid when you hear about these wars and rumors of wars. He said, just look up, for your redemption draws near. So when we hear of wars and rumors of wars, we're not supposed to grow fearful. I'm in Egypt right now. And of course, I'm close to, because I'm in South Sinai area. And of course, you have Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Israel, you know, these are Yemen. We have, what's going on in this neck of the woods, you know, but it doesn't bother me one bit. I know they're friends and family member, well, mostly friends, not family too much. Aren't you afraid? No, like how things are, like, it's like, afraid of what? Tell me one place on this earth that you can escape any kind of disaster. If it's not burning one place, it's flooding or earthquake. Yes, there's wars and rumors of wars in this area, but there are so many other things going on in the rest of the world. All right? I put my trust in the Most High. I put my faith in Him. He brought me here. When He's ready, He's going to take me out. He's not going to let the devil take me out. Right? Where He leads His people, He has them safe. And I live here. I don't hear any rockets. I don't hear anything blowing up. I don't hear anything. If I don't turn on the news, I don't hear anything. I don't know what's going on. It's so peaceful around here. Peaceful in my environment, but like I said, spiritually, there's a storm brewing. All right? There's a storm brewing. So I don't get worried about the wars. I don't get worried. Listen, one night I was in bed. One morning, sorry, I was in bed. It was early. And I heard this explosion. I heard this boom. Then I heard again, but this one was closer. Boom. I said, what in the world is that? I jumped up. I wasn't afraid or anything. I just thought, okay, is it time? That was my first thought, actually. Is it time for us to go, Father? And I got up, went outside, and looked around. I said, Father, what was that? He said, well, it was an explosion, but a small one. Don't worry about it. Go back to bed. A few hours later, a friend sent me a text message, and asked me if I heard the noise. I said, oh, you mean the booming noise? He said, yeah. He said, it was a couple of drones that got shot down in this area. And then we had the increase of airplanes and helicopters and boats in the water and whatnots, and it didn't bother me one bit, not one bit. I wasn't planning an escape plan. I wasn't making an escape plan. I wasn't thinking, oh, I need to travel someplace else, blah, blah, blah. No. I said, Father, when you're ready, you're going to come and get me out. Listen, even if war broke out here, it'll be all around me, but it wouldn't come near me. Psalm 91, right? Psalm 91. I have utter faith and trust in the Most High. I have no fear. And this is exactly what he wants for his people. So we see that there's an increase of this war going on here, and other persons getting involved, and so on and so forth, because they want to promote this idea of a third world war, which we know is not going to happen. No, it's not. No, the Father is not going to let it happen, because there are only two more wars coming. And that's the war of Gog and Magog, and sorry, I shouldn't say just two wars, because there will be the war between the Northern Kingdom and the NWO Beast Empire number 7. There's going to be that war, and that war is going to be fought for 3.5 years. All right? Many of our brethren are going to fall. They're going to die, but they're not going to perish. They're going to be returned for when Hamashiach comes again for his millennial reign. Then the next war after that will be the war when Hamashiach does come again. That is Revelation chapter 19, when he is going to war against Beast Empire number 8, which is Azazel. All right? And then the last war will be the war of Gog and Magog, which Yahweh, Alahayam, is going to war himself against Gadriel and his minions. So those are the only real wars that are coming. All these other little things that you see happening, these skirmishes and what have you. Okay. Don't let yourself be deceived. And all they're doing is disrupting certain production chains, whether it's food, they're disrupting it because they're trying to promote famine. And along with that, fear. Have no fear. All right? Have no fear. These things are supposed to happen. And let's look at the last point here. Increase in disasters. And I have here unnatural fires. Have you noticed lately that there have been some seriously unnatural fires that are burning out cars like nothing before? Burning cars and flipping them upside down and on top of each other. What kind of fire is that? That's not a fire. That's something else. And yet you see a tree standing nearby and not, well, just a few of the branches a little touched. But these cars and it looks like Armageddon. Well, that's what they give you the picture of Armageddon. Destruction where everything is burned out. But yet you got a tree standing nearby, or trees standing nearby. And they're swaying happily in the breeze. That's what happened in that island just off Hawaii. It happened again in this other country. Forgot the other country. What's the name of this other country? Oh, name's gone completely out of my head. And then it's happening now. I see China is burning. Where do you think that fire is coming from? It's not coming from the Most High, that's for sure. That's their technology. You see, with all the chemicals that they have in the air that goes into the water, that's then taken up by the vegetations, everything burns even greater than it used to burn, at a higher degree than it used to burn. But not only that, it is the kind of technology that they use to target these particular places for their own purpose. All right? They're targeting. That place that is burning right now, I called the name just now, don't want to call it again. All right. The country of the dragon. I don't know what else to call them. You know who I'm talking about, the Asian people, right? Them. They're the poster child for the WEF, the World Economic Forum. The poster child for the way how they manage their people for in 2020 and onward. All right. But those are JFET's children, so we can't really be too concerned about them. All right. Because they love money so much that they would kill their own for money. They would destroy their own for money. But these are the unnatural fires that are happening. And the reason why these unnatural fires are happening is because they want to come in and reclaim the real estate so that they can make it into a smart city. Turn it into a smart city. I saw a video. Where did I see it? I think it was another one of those shorts. And it was talking about which part of this city is it? Phoenix, Arizona? I think it was, Forgive me if I'm wrong, because I watch so many videos. But the whole idea is that it's a city without cars, and everything that you want and need, you can walk to. I said to myself, you know what? That's a smart city. But they don't call it that because they realize that people are getting um, weirded out when they call it a smart city. So they just call it something else. A city without cars and a city that you can walk to any place, everywhere you want to. That's a smart city. That's what a smart city is. A smart city will not have vehicles. You don't need a vehicle in smart city, maybe a bicycle and that's it. But as far as cars are concerned, you're not going to need a car in a smart city. The whole idea is that you live and work within 15 minutes of your home. And you eat, your entertainment, everything is within 15 minutes so that you can walk to where you need to go. So you're living in this little pocket, this little village, but they call it a city because they're going to make it quite fancy. And you're supposed to live there forevermore or until they kill you or blow you up or do whatever, poison you, what have you. So this is the reason why we're having these unnatural fires. They're clearing out the land because the people are not selling out. They're coming to the people, hey, we want to buy your land. No, you're not selling. Okay, then keep it. It's going to be worth nothing. You should have taken something for it. That's what they did with the people off the island of Hawaii. It was an island off Hawaii. I'm not going to call its name. You know what I'm talking about. Unnatural, you have the floodings, and you also have the earthquakes in diverse places. All these are increasing. Volcanic activities. I heard about Iceland and their volcanoes, all the different things that are happening up there as well. All right? All this is happening all around the world. What's not burning? And besides these unnatural fires, then you have the forest fires, the fires that come in the summertime in certain parts of the world, and then in the wintertime, say like in Australia, because Australia's wintertime is actually summertime. So they have their fires in December, January, February, what have you. Don't know if they're burning out, but they were last year sometime they had a lot of fires. All right? And floodings galore. And with floodings come landslides. You see pieces, big chunks of land sliding and with trees and everything on it, sliding way off the land. It's not even a slope or anything, it's just sliding and right into the sea. I saw this, was it a couple years ago? I think this was in Norway, I believe. It was a whole bunch of farmhouses. Someone was taking a video of it, and you see the land sliding with all the houses on it. A big chunk of land, and right into the sea. Houses and everything in the sea. All right. All these things are happening. So when you put all these things together, the increase of technology, the increase of narcissism, the increase of stupidity, the increase of satanic worship, the increase of mental disorders, the increase of these alphabet people's agendas, the increase of wars and rumors of wars, and the increase of disasters of all kinds. When you put all these things together, now you will understand when I started this video, and I said to you that there's a storm brewing. The clouds are swirling around in the atmosphere. These dark clouds are swirling. These are the dark clouds that I'm talking about. All right? Every now and then, you see the lightning flash like that. All right? In one location, but not worldwide. Why? Because the Most High will not permit these devils to do what they did in 2020 as long as the Southern Kingdom is still here. What they did in 2020 all the way up to 2023, He allowed them so that we can be jerked awake. It was an alarm that was set off to let us know, hey, life will never be the same again. We need to get our house in order. Otherwise, we're going down with the ship. Allah Hayam is not playing. He is not playing. He has been silent. He has not really yet rolled out his judgments, but he's allowing certain evils to be performed by these devils because he's sifting the Southern Kingdom. And our time of regathering is so very close. But it's up to us if we choose to get our house in order. If we choose to walk in obedience to Him. If we choose to walk in faith. Because when we walk by faith, then we will have no fear. And then we will know what we need to do. We need to pray. And we need to walk in His commandments. We need to worship Him and Him alone. And He will tell us all that we need to do to make sure that we make it in the chariots when they come. All right? And I think that's it. There's nothing more that I can add to this particular message because a storm is brewing. And pretty soon, the Most High is going to gather us up, and then that storm is going to break loose on this earth. It's called the NWO, Beast Empire number 7. The New World Order is coming. And it's coming like a black, ugly storm. All right? So, with that, let's go back to a blank page. Well, I wish I had a blank page. With that, we're going to end with our usual blessing for Yashwa'al, taken from Bamadabar chapter 6, verses 24 to 26. That is Numbers 6, verses 24 to 26. Yabarakak Yahweh wa Yashamarak. May Yahweh bless you and keep you. Ya'ar Yahweh panayo alayak wa yachanak. May Yahweh cause his face to shine upon you and have favor upon you. Yasha'a Yahweh panayo alayak wa yosham lak shalawam. May Yahweh lift up his face upon you and give you peace. And now I want to say the blessing, I said the blessing already. I want to say the command that he has given us to recite when we lie down, when we get up, when we go out, and when we come in. And it's taken from the Barayam chapter 6, verses 4 and 5, and that is Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 and 5. Shama o Yashwa'al, Yahweh, Allah Hayana, Yahweh Ahad, wa Ahabath Ath, Yahweh, Allah Hayak, Bakal Babak, wa Bakal Napashak, wa Bakal Ma'adak. Hear, O Yashwa'al, Yahweh, our Allahayam, is one Yahweh, and you shall love Yahweh, your Allahayam, with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And with that, I will say, Shalawam, Shalawam. All praises to the Most High, Abba Yah.